Let's go. We just closed out the first quarter of 2026, and I gotta tell you, if you're trying to figure out what's happening in this market by scrolling Zillow or listening to your neighbor's opinion, you're getting the wrong information. So today, I'm gonna break down the actual data from January, February, and March. We're gonna look at sales, pricing, buyer demand, inventory, and price drops. And I'm gonna show you exactly what this means if you're thinking about buying or selling right now, because real estate shouldn't feel like a guessing game. Let's get to it. Okay, first up, sales and pricing. And this is where most people get confused because they're looking at the wrong numbers. Here's what happened in the Austin metro area over the first 3 months of 2026. Okay, January, median sales price was $395,000. We had 1,891 homes close. February, median bumped up to $400,000. Sales jumped to 2,323. That's a 23% increase month over month. March, median hit 415,000. Sales climbed again to 3,025, another 30% jump from February. Now, here's what that tells me. The market's waking up. We started the year slow. January is always slower. People are recovering from the holidays, tax season's hitting, but as we move through Q1, buyers started moving. And prices? Well, they climbed steadily. But here's the part you really need to understand. We're still down 2.4% year over year from March 25. So what does that mean? It means we're in a correction, not a crash. And the artificial inflation from 21 and 22, when people were panic buying, that's bled out. What you're seeing now is real value. And I've seen this before. I launched my business in 2008 during a housing crisis in Las Vegas when everyone said the market's dead. And I did 102 transactions my first 3 years because I understood one thing. People who move when there's clarity are the ones who win. Right now in Austin, if you're a seller, this tells you the market's stabilizing. You're not fighting a free fall anymore, but you better know your actual number, not what Zillow says, not what the algorithm guesses, because here's what I know. AI and algorithms are always guessing. They're never gonna walk through your home and see why it's worth more. If you're a buyer, this is your window before prices climb further this spring, summer season, because look at the trend, 395 in January, 400 in February, 415 in March. That's a 5% jump in 90 days. Now, if that pace continues, waiting 6 months could cost you $30,000 or $40,000 in equity. And here's the thing about timing. Back in 2020, I had family members ask me if they should wait for the crash. They did. They bought. Their house is worth 40% more now. Now, the people who win in real estate look at what's actually happening, not what everybody's talking about happening. Get your appraisal report if you want to know clearly what your home is worth. I provide that by clicking on the link below. No obligations or expectations, just a free appraisal report to understand clearly accurate home value from the Vision Realty Group. I provide those for free every day. Go ahead and click on that link. All right, next session. Buyer demand. And this is where it gets really interesting. Days on market. March 26, median 59 days. March 25, median was 46 days. So homes are sitting 13 days longer than they were a year ago. Now most agents look at that and they say, see, the market's slow. I'm telling you the opposite. This is leverage for smart buyers. Here's why. When homes sit longer, sellers get nervous. And sellers get nervous, they get flexible. And when they get flexible, buyers can negotiate. Now, check this out. Homes in Austin are closing at 2.8% under the asking price on average. But here's the kicker, and this is the number that blew my mind. New under contract activity is up 11.4% year over year. So while homes are sitting a little bit longer, more buyers are locking in deals. What does that tell you? Tire kickers are gone. The FOMO buyers from 21 and 22 who were throwing offers at everything, gone. What you've got now are serious buyers who did their homework. They know what they want, and they're moving when the numbers make sense. When the numbers make sense. Now let's talk about the national picture just for a second. Mortgage rates right now are hovering around 6.5%, depending on your credit. That's higher than the 3% days for sure. But here's what people forget. In the 1980s and 90s, rates were 10 to 15% on average. And I get it. People are talk about the
median price point being a lot lower. Well, in the 2000s, they averaged 6 to 8%, and 3% rates we saw in 2021. Well, they're just an anomaly. They're not the norm. So when people say I'm waiting for rates to drop back, I got to be honest with you. You're waiting for something that's probably not going to come back anytime real soon. And here's the math that matters. Would you rather buy a house at $415,000 today at 6.5%, or wait for rates to maybe drop down to 5.5%, but pay $480,000 for the same house because prices went up? You can't refinance your purchase price. You can refinance your rate. If you're a buyer right now, you've got more leverage than you've had in years, but you need to move with a purpose before inventory tightens up again, which brings me to the next section. All right, inventory. This is where Austin gets specific. Okay, active listings right now, 260 homes on the market today, and we're at the end of April here. And I know we're always doing this late in the month, and only because the data comes from Austin Board of Realtors mid to late month, and so that's the soonest we can take the data and share it with you and tell you what it means. So as of right now, 15,260 homes. That's a 5.04 month supply. For context, 5 to 6 months is what we call a balanced market. Now below that, seller's market. Above that, buyer's market. So we're sitting right in the middle for the first time in years. But here's what's happening under that number. New listings in March, 5,867 homes, down 2.5% year over year. New under contracts in March, 3,702. That's up 11.4% year over year. All right, translation. Fewer homes are hitting the market, but more buyers are scooping them up. And here's the Austin specific reality. We've still got people moving here. Tesla's still at Giga Texas. Oracle's still downtown. Apple's still expanding. The job growth hasn't stopped. It's just slowed down from that insanity of 2021 and 2022. So demand is still here, but supply of well-priced homes is tight where it matters. Now here's what I see happening. And I've been doing this long enough to spot the pattern. A lot of that inventory you're seeing online right now, it's that stuff that's been sitting. It's overpriced. It's in less desirable pockets. Good inventory, the well-priced homes in Westlake, the updated properties in Round Rock, the solid buys in South Austin. Those are moving fast. Multiple offers. And here's the thing most buyers miss. If you're only looking at what's publicly available, you're seeing about 70% of the actual options. Now, there are homes that sellers are thinking about listing but haven't pulled the trigger yet on. There are properties about to hit the market. There are pocket listings that agents are holding for their buyer clients. Back in 2016, I moved to Austin not knowing a single person, no sphere, no prior business. I did $15 million in sales in 6 months because I understood this. The people who have access to what's coming, not just what's already been picked over, those are the ones who win. And at the Vision Realty Group, that's exactly what we provide, off-market access. You get early intel on homes before they hit the market, before they hit Zillow. You get pocket listings. You get the stuff most buyers never even know existed. Because here's what I learned from serving VIPs and fine dining on the Las Vegas Strip. The best opportunities, they never make it to the public menu. So if you're serious about buying in Austin, you need to be seeing all your options. Links in the description below. And hit me up for some talk time to find out how you can get access to off-market properties as a buyer. Okay, now last section. This is the gut check for sellers. This is real talk. Let's talk price drops. 40% of active listings in Austin have dropped their price at least once. Half of the market's dropped their price at least once. Let that sink in. Nearly half the market. Now, the average price drop, this number kind of shocked me too. The average price drop was 7%. Now, do the math, right? Most buyers get a little tight in the pants when they see that much of a price drop, 7%. But look, that's what it's taking to get in the strike zone on price so that buyers will make offers. How often do you shop for overpriced items? Look, you got to be in the strike zone for them to come out. Buyers just simply don't go shopping for overpriced items. They don't even show up. So we got to get in the strike zone on price to get the buyers to show up and make offers. So sellers are waiting an average of 66 days before they price drop. Too long. Okay, here's what that looks like in dollars. If your home should sell for $500,000 and you list it at $535,000, hoping for the best, you're gonna sit for 66 days. Then you drop to $515, sit another month, then drop to $495, and it finally sells. But here's what you lost: 3 to 4 months of mortgage payments, taxes, utilities, probably $15,000 to $20,000 in carrying costs. The opportunity cost, you could have been into your next home already. Buyer perception. When people see a house that's been sitting on the market for 90 days with 2 price drops, they don't think great deal. They think, what's wrong? And here's the brutal part. You probably end up selling for less than you would have if you just priced it right on day one. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Paulie, I want to test the market. I want to see if someone will pay more. Let me tell you what I tell every single seller. My job is to tell it like it is, so you can make a decision that doesn't waste your time or your money. Look, numbers don't lie. The question is, which numbers matter and what do they mean to you? Because here's the reality. Time's your enemy in this market. Properties that sell faster, they sell for more. Vision Realty Group's average days on market, 32 days. MLS average, 57. We're moving homes 19 days faster than the market average. And it's not because we're lucky. It's because we priced them right from day one based on real market data, not guesses, not algorithms, not what worked 2 years ago. VRG average sale to list prices 99.4%. MLS average 95.6%. That's a 3.8% difference on a $500,000 home. That's $19,000 more in your pocket. So if you're thinking about selling, don't guess. Don't go with what Zillow says. Please, for the love of God, don't go with what your neighbor sold it for in 2022. Get the actual number. I put together a free appraisal report. It breaks down your home's value based on the real comps, real market data, and what's actually selling in your neighborhood right now. Links in the description, because look, clarity is power. All right, so here's the big question. Should you buy now, sell now, or wait? Well, let me break it down. National economic conditions. Inflation's cooling, but still elevated. The Fed's holding interest rates steady. They're not cutting aggressively anytime soon. Remember that. In fact, a lot of projections are looking that interest rates are going to go up. Mortgage rates are in 6.5% range and likely to stay there through 2026. Again, I think it's going to go up a little bit if we had to bet on it. And look, the job market's still strong, especially in tech hubs like Austin. I know there's layoffs. I know that people are experiencing job losses, and that is happening. But overall, as a whole, the job market is still doing pretty well. Now, consumer confidence is stabilizing after 2 years of uncertainty. And look, I know, again, there's a disclaimer there because everything that's been happening with Iran and grocery prices and gas prices. And so there's a lot of uncertainty right now. But as a whole, things are still pretty decent. And what that means for real estate is we're not heading into a crash. We're not heading into a boom. There's some normalization happening. And here's what I learned: normalization overall, as far as what's been happening the last few years, because we've been steadily declining year over year the last 3 years. And here's what I learned launching my business during 2008 housing crisis in Las Vegas: the people who wait for the perfect market miss the real opportunities. I think Warren Buffett said, when everyone's going one way, go the other way. And everybody right now is having anxiety and apprehension around the market and whether or not to buy. And the real industry professionals, the sharks who invest in real estate at a high level, know that there's opportunity right now, and know that may not be sitting on every corner, but the opportunity is out there. If you're a buyer, buy now if you've got stable income and you can afford payments at current rates. Buy if you're planning to stay 3 to 5 years minimum. Buy if you understand you can refinance when rates drop, but you can't refinance that purchase price. Now, wait if your job's unstable or you might relocate soon. Wait if you're stretching to afford the payments, hoping rates will drop. Wait if you're waiting for the perfect house because the perfect house doesn't exist. And while you're waiting,
prices are moving. Now, if you're a seller, sell now. If you need to move for life reasons, job, family, downsizing, sell if you're willing to price it right from day one. Sell if you want to take advantage of the fact that serious buyers are still out there. Now, wait if you're a seller. If you're not ready emotionally or logistically to move. Wait if you're hoping the market will go back to 2022 prices. That's a big one because, look, wait if you're thinking about testing the market with an inflated price. Wait. Okay, here's the bottom line. Austin market right now, it isn't broken. It's not terrible. It's just different than it's been the last several years. And the people who are winning, the buyers getting great deals, the sellers getting top dollar. They're the ones who stopped guessing and started using real data and getting into a relationship with a professional who understands the market and how to get creative with options. And at the Vision Realty Group, that's what we do. We provide clarity with the market, options for how to move forward, and ultimately results you can expect. Because here's what I believe. When you have real information, you make better decisions. Buyers, get on that off-market access list. Stop competing for leftovers. Sellers, look, get that free appraisal report. Know your number before you make a move. Links are in the description, and if you're getting value from these quarterly breakdowns, hit that subscribe button. I do this quarterly review every quarter, and once a month we're looking at market updates, so keep your eyes out for that. Subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications, and get that information so you're never flying blind. I'm Paulie C. with the Vision Realty Group. Stop guessing, start planning. See you soon.